Okay, we're back with politics again, and today we're going to be looking at the angle of Armageddon military and the neo-feudal pivot. And we made to discuss that is Mustafa Jinadu. Alex Voss is also here. My name is Afolabi. Welcome to the show.
All right, welcome. So this is very disturbing that we have commanders and officers in the U.S. Army. I thought this was a joke when I heard it, who are telling the soldiers that Donald Trump will light a flame in the sky to initiate Armageddon, basically telling them this war is about Armageddon while ignoring the tactical downsides of it or the predictability that this will be a waste of money, cost American lives, and we're not going to win the war. What he's telling them is that we're about to fight for God. Not metaphorically. This isn't like a war speech, where you try to rile up the soldiers. Literally, they're saying we're going to war for God. Um, Now, there's not a direct link that Hexef told them to say this, but it's pretty clear that they did because in December 17, 2025, Hexef got rid of the spiritual code book for the Army. He said it was too secular. He said it talks too much about emotional health. It talks too much about fun and stuff and doesn't talk anything about God. So he got rid of those guidelines. And he also got rid of most other accepted faiths within the military, Wicca and all kinds of secular religions, so that basically he can be the Pope of the Army, as far as I'm concerned, the Minister of War, and force down the throats of soldiers and staff in the Pentagon his Christian ideology. He has meetings in the Pentagon where he makes people have to have prayers and things. And on his body, he has crusader tattoos and things about go to war for God. Now, the big thing that he did also was he fired three people in the military who are lawyers: Lieutenant General Joseph Berger, Lieutenant General Charles Plummer, and Rear Admiral Reynolds. And these are guys who make sure that the army isn't committing crimes and the commanders or even the people, even the generals and the top brass, even the president don't create constitutional crimes or things that are illegal within the army. Hexef was asked directly if these firings were to remove legal obstacles. He responded, "We want lawyers who give sound constitutional advice and don't exist to attempt to be roadblocks to anything that happens in their spots." In other words, he says, "I want these guys out of my way," which would make sense now that you have widespread commanders and officers telling soldiers who are about to go to war in Iran that you're going to fight for the Armageddon, which Donald Trump will initiate. All of this in tandem with my favorite Bible thumping racist asshole Lindsey Graham, who has been in coordination with Hexef, telling people that Iran are the Nazis of the Islamic world. So this is clearly a war that's being framed in religious tones by people who believe it's a religious war. And also at the same time, where we see logistically it can't be won, but it's attempting to embolden the soldiers by saying, forget about the laws of physics, forget about the laws of military. God's on our side, and we're about to initiate the final war of all times. This is what they're doing. And they believe that, so this is almost like maybe they're setting the soldiers up for failure. Don't worry when you see we're all losing. We're losing the first couple of days because we're fighting for God. And even if we lose on the battlefield, we're going to win for God. And there's also the danger that when they're losing and it's all over, Israel will take a nuclear bomb and put it on Iran, and they'll say, this is what God needed for us to win this war. What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
This is a classic case of blaming God to hide mistakes, and it's a theological cover. When your war strategy is flawed and it fails, leaders sometimes use end times or Armageddon to cover it up by calling the loss devastating. It's a test of faith. They avoid having to admit to bad military planning. This has been bad military planning from the beginning. And the decision to hit Ali Khamenei was a miscalculation of humongous proportions. Now, if you look at it, this is just a few rogue soldiers talking. It's a deliberate change by high-ranking officials by removing legal checks and balances. They are slowly turning a secular military loyal to the Constitution in an ideological crusade. This is a failed war.
Yes.
It's an
And I'm not
excuse.
sure.
It's an excuse to blame God, to hide their
Yeah.
mistakes. The target of Khamenei was a catastrophic miscalculation, in my own
Yeah.
opinion.
But here's what's more scary. he made these moves ahead of time, getting rid of the lawyers in the military, the high-ranking military guys who could block him from illegally entering wars or doing illegal actions. Which one of them is actually telling the troops? Many of these troops are Muslims or Jewish people. This is a form of discrimination within the army, telling them that this war against Islam is going to be an Armageddon. But he did all this earlier. So what it means is that not only did they make mistakes to cause this war to go down, it means that before the war started, they already knew that the chances of winning were low and they don't have a plan. So it means that not only it would be different if they made mistakes and they said, "Oh, at least you're fighting for God." They knew before the war started that most likely they weren't going to win. J.D. Vance tried to get Trump not to do the war, and from what I hear, the top generals in the military said that we can't guarantee a victory, and that because victory is supposed to be regime change. He said that can't happen. We can bomb them, we can kill them, but your objective can't be won. So what's more scary is that they actually planned all of this ahead, knowing that they would lose, and then using religion to inspire people to go into a losing
Exactly.
battle, and using
Exactly.
religion to kill young American men. Now, I know you guys are Southerners. You're really willing for your children right now to die for God? You ready? You ready to die for God? My view is that if God is real and God is powerful, he will bring Armageddon himself. He doesn't need the U.S. Army to start Armageddon. All right, what are your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, I think the side that could be, we could say they're in a religious war is Iran, because they've
Yeah.
been in a religious war since 1979. The entire state ideology is built around martyrdom, resistance to the great Satan. And then America, the average US soldier signed up for college money, healthcare, because their hometown had no jobs. And they weren't drafted into a holy war. But now suddenly, field commanders telling them they're fighting for God. Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire. It's just that's
A
manufactured.
pedophile. A
It's
pedophile.
yeah.
Yeah, that's dementia.
And
They're
He loves you.
dementia. That's dementia.
Jesus loves the little children. Trump loves the little children. Yeah.
yeah, he does. All of them, the elite.
Okay, but here's what I'll say. But I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. In 1979, the revolution in Iran was not about religion.
Iran.
It was about getting rid of the king. It was getting rid of the British puppets. It got rid of the Shah of Iran. It wasn't about religion, even though they have their government is broken into three branches: the military, the Iran Guard, then Khomeini and the Khomeini or the Ayatollah, who's the religious leader, and then the president, who's secular. So they have a three-pronged government, which gives equal balance to military, religion, and to democratically proven president. But the democratically chosen president has to be chosen by has to be agreed upon by the other two sides, the military and the Ayatollah. So this thing where they're saying that Iran wants to go on holy wars, no. I feel like how many wars has Iran had since 1971 other than against Iran, where the U.S. paid Iran to invade Iran? I played Iraq to invade Iran. They've had how many? None. They
None.
haven't had any war. They've
No.
never attacked the
It's a
U.S.
perfectly rational regime. US does
They've
not
never.
have any excuse whatsoever to attack these people except for Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, it's the Jewish people. The Jewish people are killing Palestinians, taking their land, and they're saying that it's because the Bible says it's for them. So we don't want to ever say that Iran is the one that's going on holy wars. It's Israel and America that are going on holy wars. They've made the rhetoric that God will help us beat our enemies. That's different from going on a holy war. What do you think, Alex, before we go to Falabi?
Uh, I mean, I don't know, you know,
Point to me,
but
which countries has Iran, let me ask you a question. Which countries has Iran attacked without being provoked? Which countries have they attacked and done wars against them for no reason? Can you name one?
none.
That's all I have to say. Then that's it. So they're not part of the problem. The problem is the United States. On the day that they bombed Iran, they were sitting at the table with peace treaty with Iran. And I follow me. Am I wrong? Ayatollah Khamenei said that Iran would never have a nuclear weapon because it's unholy.
Absolutely.
I follow me.
You're right about
Yeah.
that. You're right about
So
that.
Iran, the Khamenei,
There's
their
no
main leader,
mincing words. You're right about that. It's
he
unholy
said
for
that.
them. They will never do
So
it.
that's what I'm saying. Alex, so you may not like Iran because they do some other things, like they make women wear hijabs and things like that. But to say that they are pushing holy wars is absolutely not true.
No, no, no,
Do you have
that's
anything?
not true.
You ever? Yeah. What are your thoughts so far, Larry?
Yeah, basically, and I laugh when I see some of these things because if you look at history, America is repeating Rome's mistakes. Let's take a look at the historical parallel. The theory mirrors the decline of the Roman Republic, just as Rome exhausted itself fighting against Persia, modern day Iran, and turned into an unequal society of lords and serfs. The US is risking its democracy for an isolated, heavily fortified empire. The US are going to lose here. There's nothing they're going to do here. It's a fading empire and a failing empire, in my own opinion. It's just like a Roman Empire that they're failed.
Yeah, they're overextending themselves. They're funding a war with Ukraine against Russia. They just took Venezuela's president.
Rome coming
They're
down against Persia. That's all I see here.
and now they're threatening with Israel. They're threatening Turkey, and also they're still talking about going to war with China.
They shouldn't
So
even
what they
try
do
that Turkey
here,
rhetoric. They're going to fail
and,
catastrophically.
and they believe that they can win these wars specifically because they believe the Bible is going to help them, and this is the danger of it.
Most,
The
do you
minister
know what even Trump is talking about? He's talking about boots on the ground in Iran.
sending America, they'll lose 50,000 Americans will die,
I swear it's
and
going
at
to
the
be
end of
like
it,
Vietnam.
It'll be hard to invade
yeah. To what end? So you want to go to
Iran.
Iran now? Once
I
again, I
think the
apologize.
best way to win.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that the best way that America could win this war is by creating, social unrest and then letting the people there in the Middle East just fight each other, you know,
Yes, they should have done that.
by
It's too late to do that now
yeah, but
because.
like
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
what-
Go ahead. Oh,
I'm saying that I was looking at the map and like the water infrastructure,
yeah.
is it Tehran? Like, imagine if they targeted that, you know, if like the water supply is gone and now there's no food,
Um,
how bad
it's
could
not going to
that
be easy
get?
for them. If they do that, Iran will destroy the water supply to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states only have salty water. They have to desalinate it. So what they will do is destroy their water supply because they have to get their water through Iran. You see how far I mean? So what
Yeah.
they will do is destroy America's allies if they do that. And
Do-
before the U.S. can do that, they have to get airplanes that fly over Iran to bomb those areas. And Iran has already exhausted all their interceptor missiles, which means they can't do it. The best thing they could have done, like you said, was to do an overthrow, but they didn't because here's what they did. They went into to Iran and killed their religious leader during the month of Ramadan,
Yeah.
where Muslims fast. So what they did was even citizens who inside of Iran hated the government, now they're all coming together. It's just like if I'm fighting with my sister and somebody else comes into my house and beats up my sister and kills her and says, "Hey, I killed your sister for because you're fighting with her." No, no, no. When you come into another man's country and kill his religious leader, even if the people hate it, it's going to make everybody in the house come together because they know you are a bigger enemy than their
Oh,
government
yeah,
is.
sure.
What do you
There's
think?
going to be a resolve. There's going to
Yeah.
be a
So
resolve.
it's over. They can't do it because killing this guy turned him into, and from what I'm hearing, he allowed himself to die.
Yeah.
They told him, go under the ground. He said, why should I go under the ground when my citizens don't have the same escape? No, I'm going to sit in my living room. And so what they don't know is what they're dealing with a different type of person. This to become the Khomeini, you have to do 30 years of scriptural studying, you have to do meditation, and you have to write a master's thesis. So they're dealing with people who are spiritual, just like Sangomas or in Nigeria, Babalaos. These people don't look at the world in a physical plane. Same thing with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King said, I've seen the mountain. He knew he was going to get shot in the next few days. And he said, I've already been to the mountain and I've seen it. So this is the difference between white people and people of color, whether you're black or Arabic. Their whole existence is based on machinery. They don't have souls. Saudi Arabic people, African people, we have souls and we know that there's ancestors and descendants. And we know that honor comes before death, which is why America can bomb them and kill, just like with Vietnam. They killed 3 million Vietnam people. and America only lost 50,000, but gave up because 50,000 was too much for America. But Vietnam said 3 million, come and kill another 3 million. We won't stop. If you go to Vietnam now, they have shrines for the people who died. This is the difference. These guys can't win, and they come with a fake war about, oh, we're fighting for a God. Who is their God that they're talking about? A God that kills women and children. The first day of the war, they bombed a school and killed 120 people. These guys are bad representatives of Christianity. What is your thoughts, Afolabi?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if you look at them, they're bad representative of Christianity. And I was watching a video on the internet. They were asking Saudi Arabia, are you the one that pushed Israel and US to attack Iran? Saudi Arabia said, no, we're not the ones, though. We don't know why it happened, though. You can now see how Saudi Arabia is behaving to teeter
They're
off.
scared.
Yeah, they're scared. So, and that is the thought process of every other Gulf state, because they're now defending their territory, much against what the US and Israel pushed them to do. So it's not going to be easy at all. Everybody's defending their territory now.
And without the U.S. help, what you call it, the Houthis could take over Iran. No, not Iran, Saudi Arabia in 26 hours.
They will, absolutely.
Yeah. Because the U.S. has run. The U.S. has left. They run away like little girls. They've run away and left those bases open. Pussies, man. Come and fight for your God now, motherfuckers, man. All right. What are your last thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with the both of you, America has no soul left, Iran, whatever I may think, okay, in fact, what I think, people, they actually believe in something, they'll die for their
Yeah.
faith, their revolution, it's real to them. And that's actually terrifying because that means they'll fight to the death, you know?
Yep.
Well, as America, honestly, is just, yeah,
But
soulless.
the idea is that shouldn't everybody fight to the death for their country? Iran is not attacking any other country, even if you disagree with them. Shouldn't they fight to the death for their country? Because
Oh,
this is
yeah,
how
absolutely.
white people are taking all over the world.
Yeah,
Because
you
they say,
should be
oh,
able to
you either
spill
fight
your
to fight
blood
your
for
own
your
people.
country. Spill your
Of
blood
course,
for
you
your
should fight for
country.
your country, your women and your children. Iran has some of the best scientists and mathematicians in the world. Their educational system is better than the U.S. So even though they're a religious society, look at the weapons they're using. They're more advanced than America. Persia has been around for 10,000 years. They're the ones who started script and writing. They created so many things. Their culture is way beyond America. So who are we to attack them when you have a country like the U.S., which wants to go to war with Nigeria, which tells South Africa that they're treating whites bad? Who's worse, Alex? Would you rather have Iran running the world or America? Look what America's done. Look what they've done to black people. Slavery.
Iran.
They let apartheid. The Americans let apartheid exist. Nah, fuck them. Take us out, Afolabi.
Yeah, it's been another brilliant show. We're discussing how the US wants to use the Armageddon and religious war to basically navigate this. It's not going to work. They're going to fail catastrophically. And from me, Mustafa, Alex, we'll be back again with the unfolding Iran crisis.
All right, thank you. We'll see again.